Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Once again, it's so good having you here this day. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. Today's episode is it is well. So thank you so much. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and of course to leave your comment. Thank you so much once again, and you are welcome. I remain my humble self, Catherine, also known as Winnie Kate. Yay! That's me. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so today's episode is prompted by a trend. Okay, I'm not one to jump at trends, okay, but this one, and not that I don't like trends, so of course sometimes I feel like talking about stuff going on social media, especially on the Twitter streets and Instagram, but then I try as much as possible with the help of the self-control spirit that the Lord has given me to stay away from matters that do not concern me. But you see, this one is like it's touching every one of us, left, right, back, center, all over. So it's about the marriage of Funke Akindele and of course jjcskillz. According to the write-up by jjcskillz, he said they were separated. He did not say the marriage ended. Okay, let's note that. He said they were separated and that they've been separated for a while. All right, that's not really the business, but the comment of people, the reaction of people, like, I told you marriage cannot work, this is why marriage is not worth it, this is why marriage is this is why marriage is that, and blah 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 like that. Okay, so now I want to talk about marriage, taking clue from what just happened. You know, a marriage that will work. Okay, before I go ahead, I have to let you know that I might be all over the place with this video because I'm just jumping in, no write-up, no nothing. So I'm going to be a little all over the place, but please bear with me. Thank you. All right, so you said the marriage that will work, like I was saying, is one that has God at the center of it. Like, God is the one deciding, coordinating, is the one you report to, and all. God is at the center of it. Marriage is a very, very sensitive issue, and it is ordained by God, so it is just right or normal to go back to God when things are not working or when we seem to be confused. Marriage is beautiful. The marriage that is ordained by God is beautiful, but then the man and the woman at their individual state or with their individual mind should have the fear of God. It is not somebody's work. Marriage is not a person's work. In fact, it is neither people's work. Is that English correct? It is the work of neither of them. It is the work of God. But the thing is, we try to do things by ourselves. We try to handle things by ourselves. If we really want a successful marriage, then we must report to God. We must refer to God. We must have God at the center of it and overall. So we cannot do it by ourselves. We cannot help ourselves when it comes to marriage. A man, a woman must have the fear of God, must have the love of God at heart, must move with the flow of God. You don't try to do it your own way. Somebody says two men cannot be married, calling the woman a man because she's ambitious, she's a career person. That should not be so. There are many career people whose marriages, so far so good, as you can see on the outside, are good. Because one thing I always tell people is marriage is more like a secret court. You only see what you are allowed to see. You hear that? You only see what a couple allows you to see. When they tell you it is fine, then it is fine. Even if you go closer, you live with them, you might not see what is really going on inside. Like, so it is only what is revealed to you, or what they tell you, or what they allow you to see, or what you are able to see if you're lucky that you will see. So that is why I always tell people, don't envy anybody's marriage. All these celebrity couples, celebrity marriage, social media marriage, don't envy anybody's marriage. Just work out your own marriage and do what you can do and trust God for the rest. But it is not even about you. It is all about God. So God has to be at the center of your marriage for your marriage to work. That being said, then you must always pay attention to what God is saying per time. Like, even when things are not going right and then you feel like reacting, you just have to be sure you will not be going against God's will. And this boils down to individual person. It is not one person's work. One person cannot have the fear of God and the person will not have the fear of God. Eventually the other person will be tired, the other person will be frustrated if it is only one person who has this God thing in mind or at heart, and the other person is just doing anyhow, in quotes. So, at some point, the person who has a fear of God will be frustrated. So it has to be the two parties having the fear of God. And so if you are lucky and you have a spouse that has a fear of God, just the way you have the fear of God, then you can be sure that your marriage will work. But if it's only one person who is running the fear of God and the other person just wants to live anyhow, then you guys are going to have problems. There's going to be problems. There are going to be issues. So we must always refer to God. Another thing I will say is, if there is need for counseling, please don't hesitate to take it. Some people will say, I don't want my matter all over the place. I don't want people hearing about my issue. I cannot be talking to a stranger about my issue. I cannot do this, I can't do that. Yet you guys are having problems. And then when everything escalates and then you can no longer deal with it, eventually people will hear. Especially the people you don't want them to hear. They will hear about it, because by the time you separate from your husband or from your wife, or by the time you guys go your separate ways, divorced, then we are going to hear about it. Your neighbors are going to know about it. Your church members are going to know about it. Your pastor that you didn't want to talk to is going to know about it. Everybody will know about it eventually. So if you really believe in your marriage and you want your marriage to work, it is just best and it is just good for you, both of you, to talk to someone, a counselor. It doesn't have to be your pastor, because the truth of the matter is, it is not every pastor that can counsel on marriage. It is just the truth. It is not everybody that can handle marriage counseling. Do you get? Even some pastors need help. Yes, they are human too. So sometimes you just need to get a professional psychologist or a professional marriage counselor to talk to. So if there is need for it, then you guys should talk to someone. Number one, have God at the center of your marriage, the fear of God. Let God be the one you refer to all the time. And when issues keep arising, then talk to someone, a marriage counselor, not just every random person you find on the street, or you just go to social media and then start typing blah 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 on social media. People will just talk and give you their own opinions, just like that. And it is based on their emotion. So you need somebody that you will talk to, who will be able to walk you through the process until both of you balance. Both of you are balanced. So that is just that. Talk to a counselor. And of course, self-control. I know there are issues that self-control cannot just work, but we need self-control. We don't just react to everything. As a woman, as a man, it's not just about the woman. Everybody get issue. So as a man, as a woman, you need self-control. When issues are arising, if it's something that you can just control yourself, just do that. Self-control. And then do not be ruled by your emotions. A lot of time we allow our emotions to step in. You are angry, you just want to be angry. And when you are happy, you just want to be all over the place. And when you are moody, your mood is changing, or you have mood swings, then you are all over the place again. We need to take charge of our emotions. You note that I'm saying we. It's not just about you. It's about all of us. So we need to take charge of our emotions, not allowing our emotions to rule us, not allowing our emotions to dictate how we act, not allowing our emotions to tell us what to do. So we need to take charge of our emotions. We need to take charge of our emotions. That self-control is very, very vital. When you are angry, know how to just stay back and just be calm. So, and then another thing I want to say is, marriage is beautiful. I think I've mentioned that. So if you are saying that because people are breaking up, people are being divorced, I mean, people are getting divorced and all, are separated and all, and then you are saying, I don't think this marriage thing is for me or is for everybody. Marriage is for everyone as long as you are created by God, because God says it is not good for a man to be alone, and so he gave the man a partner. So every one of us need relationship. Doesn't have to be married relationship, fine, but marriage is meant for you if you want to be married, and if you feel good about it. Don't say because people are breaking up, people are getting divorced, and then you don't want to marry, or marriage cannot work. Oh, marriage can work. If you can work it, marriage can work. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so if you want to be married, get married. If you find someone that you want to marry to, just make sure before you go ahead with it, talk to God about it. Let God be the one leading you. Let God be ahead. Don't lead yourself. Let God guide you. Let God lead you. And talk to God every time, whether there's an issue to deal with or there is none. Talk to God about it all the time. Talk to God about it. And above all, and again, don't envy anybody's marriage. Don't make anybody's marriage your model. See, you will be at the corner of your room praying and saying, oh God, I want my marriage to be like so person's marriage, and blah blah, just because of what you see outside, the uniform they put on, the beauty of the woman, and then you believe that it is the man spending on the woman, and then you are saying, oh, my husband must be like this. Oh no, come on, forget it. Not everything that glitters is gold. That saying is still very much right in marriage. It is not all that glitters that is gold. So don't envy anybody's marriage. Don't envy anybody's husband. Don't envy anybody's wife. Don't make any marriage your prayer point. Don't make any spouse your prayer point. Let your husband be your husband, and let your wife be your wife. Focus on your marriage. Don't envy anybody. Whatever you want from your marriage, talk to God about it. You want peace, you want serenity, you want buoyancy, you want breakthrough, you want whatever you want, the love, the romance and all. Just tell God about it, that this is the kind of person you want your spouse to be. Whether you're already married or you want to be married, tell God what you want and let God deliver it to you, not what you see people doing, and then you go to social media and then you're like, oh, what happens to those of us that are not married now? How I wish, no, please just stop it. And then don't compare your marriage with anybody's marriage. Your marriage is unique. Your marriage is your marriage. Do not compare your marriage to anybody's marriage. This is your life. That is their life. So I think that is just it about it. Above all, please, God. Let's just have God at the center of our marriage. God is the creator of marriage. He is the author of marriage, and he is the only one who can perfect it. So don't go about envying anybody's marriage, and the Lord will help you. I think that is just it. I've said something. I've made my own point. That is all I can say for now. Don't mind me. I know I've been all over the place, but just grab the point, okay? Grab the point. Have God at the center of your marriage, and of course at the forefront of your marriage, and above all, and of course be self-control. Take charge of your emotions. Don't be ruled by your emotions. Don't compare your marriage. Don't envy anybody's marriage. Don't be that person. Don't compare yourself with anybody or married to anybody's marriage, and do not envy anybody. And let God take charge, and above all, commit all to God. Tell God what you want. Let God be your lead, and don't stop trusting God. And please, if anybody is walking out of their marriage, don't put it on God, because God is not an author of confusion. So don't say God said, God said, God said. No. If you want to walk out, if you are tired, let it be on you. It is your decision. It is your choice. Don't put it on God. But please, let's just try and put in the effort of trusting God with our marriage and playing our part as human beings, the part and the role that God has given to us as husband, as a wife. So let's play our part, and of course keep trusting God. Thank you so much once again for joining me on today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and leave your comments before you sign out. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode. Peace out.